All right, hey, good morning, folks. We're gonna do some artwork this morning, so give me a second here. I need about a minute to go through all the stuff that one has to go through when you're starting to stream. So if you want to skip ahead a minute, I do not blame you. I will be here with you. That volume is loud and clear, so I can drop that down and keep it out of the way. I just need to do a few social media posts, and then we'll be up and running. So to distract you, if you're caught here in the now with me, and you want to hear the thing, my name is Phil Kearney. Hey, I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish them online. And I've been creating content for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition on the DMsGuild since 2017. I've been a DM since 1987. 30 years later, I'm making the books that I loved to see as a kid. I've been an Eberron fan since 2004, and I've been a freelance illustrator since 1999. But I haven't created any adventures or any content for Eberron specifically yet on my time on the DMsGuild. So I am correcting that with this adventure called Crystals of Mabar. You can see the book cover here on screen with you guys now. We're fighting necromancers, undead, and demons in the Carnwood of Karnath on the continent of Corvair. And today we're working on a Ultroloth, which is one of the greatest fiend of the Yugoloth sect. I don't know what you would call a branch of demonic forces. I don't know quite the proper noun there. But yeah, so if you think stuff today is fun, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. We have new subscribers. God bless you guys. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Here's my Discord channel. Here's a bunch of books I've already created on DMsGuild. They all have free previews. They're full of my art. Be welcome to take a look at the art and my ideas. And if you're a D&D enthusiast and you want to support the channel, pick some up, add it to your campaign. Everything that I build on the DMsGuild is stuff that that evolved from campaigns that I was running, or were the tools that I needed to run the sort of campaigns that I wanted to run, if that makes sense. So everything that I publish is field tested, typically in a campaign from level 1 to 20. Know that it works and that it's fun, and that's why I went ahead and built it all out, so that it would be a tool that everyone else could use as well to change the nature of their campaigns. So right now we're trying to turn some decent Yugoloth art into good Yugoloth art. And that is not me saying that what I am doing is better than what's depicted here, this is from the Monster Manual 2024. This is where I'm at right now. No, what I'm trying to say is that I think this doesn't look very good, so I'm trying to gussy it up. It doesn't have to be amazing, it just has to look good, and that's what I want to do. So let's get back into the flesh of this and just work our magic here and see where the gods take us today. So building out some muscle in here. This guy has so much Dragon Ball Z Frieza energy, it's crazy. I absolutely love it. Let's see. So I typically do artwork like this in the mornings, Monday through Friday. And then I can still hear myself. Hold on. I gotta adjust my volume a little bit more. Just a little bit more. There we go. That should probably be better. Let's get this glossiness in here and get that angle right. There it goes. That feels much, much better. And there. Fade that out. Okay, that feels pretty good. So we'll leave that like that. Let's get back into the anatomy up here. So we do the line art, and then we put in the color flats, and then we add the highlights and shadow, and then we bond the line art into the color, and we start rendering. And that is currently where we're at right now. We are in the rendering stage, and so it's pretty much like whatever amount of detail and texture and effects I want to add in at this point is just making it better. The core of what the illustration is obviously is already done here, of this figure standing triumphantly. This guy has been trying to get born for thousands of years, and these blood of Vol guys, these emerald Emerald Claw cultists, they figure out how this ritual works and don't really understand the ramifications behind performing the ritual, that it will destroy the ritual caster and convert that person into an Ultroloth, which is what we're looking at here. If the ritual completes, if the ritual fails, the necrotic energy used to build this creation basically break down and coalesce into whatever CR creature it's capable of scraping together for itself from the unlife force that has been accumulating from human sacrifices. And in the adventure, it's assumed that this is going to collapse. This Ultraloths are CR 13, and this is an 8th level adventure, 7th or 8th level adventure. So CR 13 can basically one-shot a lot of the lower hit point characters at 8th level. Like it is dangerous, and so it's not assumed that the team is going to face this as an enemy, but it is the end goal of the artifact that's being used during the ritual to create one of these things. And the casters know that they're going to be changed, but they don't know how they're going to be changed, or that they're going to lose what their objectives were. Those are going to be overridden by the objectives of the Yugoloth that gets born through this artifact that the ritual caster uses to cast the ritual. They're trying to create a manifest zone and transform themselves into a creature that is capable of wielding that power. And that sounds attractive to the Blood of Vol, which is all about basically human experimentality projects and advancing themselves through necrotic undeath energy. Now that we know you can live forever and that vampires are a thing, let's science the hell out of this problem and figure out how we can make undeath work for us. That's the theme of the Carnathi, from which born the Emerald Claw cult, to worship sentient undeath. Coincidentally, for those that don't know, the elves of Eberron have an unlife. So where necromancy taps into the negative plane of energy, the source of necrotic entropy, the elves have tapped into, I think it's Serenia. I'm not great with the names. There's a lot of planes of Eberron that are unique to themselves, and I am still learning what they all are. But there's a plane of energy, of positive energy and order, that can channel energy just like necrosis can, necrotic energy can. So you can create unlife, eternal, unliving creatures that are, good in nature and not wanting to suck out your soul like the undead stuff does. So the undead versus the unliving is a fun axis of conflict in the Eberron campaign setting if you want to go in on elves versus vampires, which is completely legit. So there's vampires, and there's liches, and there's dread knights, and there's all sorts of things that are like wights, for example. These are all sentient undead creatures that get fueled by the power of Mabar versus elves. But the elves aren't involved in this project, but the backstory then therefore is that the Carnathi, looking for means to harness immortality through necrotic energy, would naturally be attracted to a ritual that promises eternal life and control of the energies of undeath itself, which is what the plane of Mabar is. So natural lineup there. They don't really think it through. The plane of Mabar, of course, betrays them, and the necromancer that's performing the ritual ends up liquefying and then being like in a chrysalis of a cocoon for a butterfly, and as a result, out of that chrysalis ideally emerges an Ultraloth. But if everything goes wrong, a Canoloth will be created instead. Here, I'll show you Canoloth real quick. There we go. That's a Canoloth. I fucking love this illustration. I'm super happy with that. You can see this is the artifact, the Eye of Mabar, that's used to power all this stuff. It melts the flesh of everything that's been sacrificed and performing for it, bonds with necrotic ooze, and then reforms itself into a Yugoloth. If the ritual fails, what energy can be harvested from the failing ritual by the artifact creates the Canoloth, and of course kills the caster of the ritual in the process. Hey, what's going on, Steve? And then from there, if the ritual completes, then it creates a permanent portal that opens to the plane of Mabar, and the caster becomes an Ultroloth that then takes command of the facility. Good times. Good times. So yeah, we're gonna just keep we're rendering detail right now. We blend here. I'll show you. If we beep beep, there. That's the sketch that we started with. Hold on. I'm having technical issues. Starts me a bit here, and then let's see. Then it became, where did it go? Fuck it. Oh, this is a trash drawer. Never mind. I'm just wasting your time. Let me just get back to work. Damn it! Now I have the background thing there. I was trying to walk you through it. Just go watch the previous 2 episodes or whatever. You can watch the whole process and whatever it is that I'm rambling on about on those days. Let's just keep working here. We're going to take that line color there, and we're going to add in some ribs over here. I mean, technically, I don't know if fiends actually have to breathe or not. Some fiends do. Oh, that's right. It'll tell you in the monster manual if they have unusual anatomy. When it says unusual anatomy, it typically means you don't have to breathe. I actually like that improvement. There. That feels pretty good. And then we can clean up that edge here for the tunic that this guy's wearing. Armored tunic. Who knows what it is? Alien garb. That feels pretty good. All right, we're gonna let that sit for a second. We're gonna come back over here to this glossy bit. Let's grab some of that because I want to play with this angle down in here. So yeah, we stream Monday through Fridays in the mornings. And then we do game design on Monday and Thursday nights. And for those tuning in here now, this is a Thursday. Welcome to it. So I'll be streaming this evening. We've been working on an Eberron Spelljammer campaign for the characters to pilot mecha to fight kaiju that are attacking asteroid communities in orbit around Eberron. And so XCOM style, the characters will have a carrier ship, a dwarven citadel that they can take from location to location in the asteroid belt to fight monsters as they appear. So like in the video game XCOM or XCOM 2, your characters are in command of a carrier ship that deliver characters from location to location to fight aliens that are invading the planet. And I always wondered, if the aliens are coming in from space, they have the high ground against the carrier ship that flies around. Why don't they just blast the carrier ship out of the sky? I can never figure that part out, and it's always bothered me. But I guess I'm not supposed to think about it too much. This feels a little off, so I'm gonna have to do some surgery on that arm. Give me a moment here. No, I don't want to do that. I want to leave that highlighted. Blend that out. This is causing the front of this armor to look kind of collapsed, and I think the curvature of this is better for the overall design. But I have this problem here that Like this stuff is like at an angle like this, but this arm is more like an angle like this. So I need to fix this anatomy inside of this meat stump here to help better align with what we've been able to create on the other side. So that's our current problem that we have to solve. And I didn't notice it when we were doing just the line art because I can't really visualize the detail of a piece. I just kind of paint on vibes and intuition. So I don't really know what it is that I'm creating. I have an idea, like I have a command prompt of what it is that I want to build and just trust that my body's going to know how to figure it out. And sometimes I run into problems like this. So this is me fixing a problem. I like that. I like that curve effect in there. I think this looks good. But it's not aligning quite with this over here. This is absolute dark while this has got a gradient fade. So I'm going to see if I can. Why are you not doing what I tell you to do? Oh, I've been having Photoshop wants me to update to Photoshop 25 or whatever, and I'm still using Photoshop 22. So I don't want to upgrade, but I'm noticing some glitchiness that's starting to get introduced. I can still hear myself. I think I'm going to let it go. Yeah, I think this is better. Still working on it. Damn it, I can still hear myself. That's bothering me. There, okay, that should be good now. Where's my music? Everything's acting sketchy today. There we go. Thank you, Epidemic. Yes, this is gonna work out. Like that. So merge that and that. That does, I think that actually does look better. Merge layers. What I should probably do is figure out a texture to put across there so it breaks up those large planes of monochrome. But for now, we have surgery. So there. Where's your arm at, son? Point. Good. Let's take. Good. That meaty pile there is separate, and that's a separate layer. Let's turn that off for a second, and let's get into this arm. Let's cut this off. There. We'll tack that onto here, merge those down. We're going to duplicate this layer so we don't run into trouble. And then we're going to turn that layer off. And now we're going to see if we can fix this arm. So we're going to use this line art here. I'm just going to erase this here. The shoulder should be coming out somewhere around here and then down into the arm here. Yeah, I just made the bicep a little bit just too over exaggerated. So let's curve that in like this. Just straighten that bit out. I do a lot of smudge in my art. I like the tactile sensation of the stylus pen on the tablet, just pushing the pixels. It's like pushing ink around on a page. It's very satisfying. Oh yeah, this feels better. This feels so much better. Now it's going to be shadow all in there, so that's good. That shadow there is good. Let's put a strip across here. Better. Better, but let's take this. Let's cut that off here. We can get rid of that original meat. And let's take this whole group here and bring it up. I'm gonna hit save real quick so we can monkey around. Okay, so I need to make the forearm a little bit bigger. And you could probably stand to make that a little bit bigger. So we're going to set that there. We're going to... Where's the hand? There's the hand. So the hand's going to be separate. But we're going to expand the size of the forearm and the forearm and the bicep. So let's take this. Let's cut this free. Nope. There we go. Okay, take those three things and let's expand them just a smidge. That's probably sufficient. Let's flip this around. Now they feel like they're the same size. Perfect, that's what we needed. So let's bring this in here. That might be the right angle. Ooh, God, that almost looks right. Kick this out. Something like that. Where's my whip? That's where we need to be. The whip has to change. It's probably gonna have to go down like this. So let's take this grouping and have it line up with the whip. And then just a bit of a tilt. Let's see. Okay, and now if we can add some shadow in front of that bicep, I bet this is going to work out. Like that. Timely timer coming in. Thank you, Time. It's time for me to take a sip of water and some coffee. 1 shot of water. It's 2 shots of water per copy. That keeps the dehydration and kidney stones away. So if you're at Denny's pounding coffee all night, you need to drink 2 gallons of water the next day. Let's blend that together. I like how this, oh, I see the problem here. See, I've got the garment underneath here, like stretching out this way to cover the shoulders, but over here, it's clearly cutting into a halter top. And I'm not producing that same effect over here. That's what's been glitching the system. So let's see if we can fix that, shan't we? Go in here, sculpt this out. This will fix our problem. Let's cut that in a little bit more. I don't need to have this highlight here because the muscle of the arm is going to be blocking a lot of that out. So I'm going to just block this in here, darker color. And let's cut away at this a little bit more. See how that effect there was like impacting the rest of this curve out through here. It's like one little glitch in your anatomy can have cascading consequences as you're trying to basically keep things in proportion with a base point that is flawed. So you have to be willing to backtrack and recant what you've done. Make sure that actually ends up accurate. There's been many instances on this stream where I have had to go back and rework things because I had at one point I had a 2-point perspective illustration that I was using the wrong perspective point. It was skewing all of the angles for the geometry we were doing, and we were able to figure that one out in an hour, but it was a waste of a session. But I learned so much from that. It was such a good time. It was worth. The more stuff you do manually here in art, the more skilled you become with the tools that you're using, and you can start having just a better relationship with, with what you're doing here to create your art. Sorry, I kind of ran out of steam on that in the middle of it. I was showing appreciation just to the process of adapting our style to utilize the tools that we have to create the effects that we want, that we just naturally gain that proficiency over time when we just continue to utilize and implement our tools. So we're doing right now base color and texturing, we're doing deep work on the lighting, making sure we have the highlights where we want them to, shape and form is correct for what we're doing. And then once we get that done, we'll be able to add in texture and put another layer of texturing and rendering detail skin over it, like little seams and bolts and wherever that kind of stuff might be necessary. And I'm not saying that a lot of it is, but this is that's the process that we go through to move from where we are in the piece. Let's move that around and push that shoulder up there into that shadow. I think that feels good. And let's take the whip, make sure that the end of the whip lines up with the baton. That feels better, but we need to add in more dark across here to push that bicep back into the shadow of the armor. So let's do that. I'm using a 30% brush right now to not create a block of color, because I'm not sure exactly how deep the color needs to be or how it needs to sit specifically. So I didn't want to just drop something in. So I built up I stacked on the brush strokes to increase opacity with each passing. Okay, this should be deeper, which probably means this arm needs to be thinner. I'm going to take this, drop this in here, and I feel like I can safely merge this all down. So I'm going to duplicate the layer first, as we do, and then I'm going to not merge the armor bit into the arm. Merge that group. There. Now I can come into here and carve at this bicep a little bit more. See, if I had done the anatomy accurately during the line art phase, I wouldn't have to be going through this process right now. But that's a mistake that I make. It's you're going to make mistakes no matter how long you've been painting. You will make mistakes. And that's not the problem. It's how you resolve the mistakes that you make. What solutions can you come up with to recover the work and to be able to create a successful piece from it? Sometimes you just have to bail on a piece. Like the best, like the amount of time, it's like when you realize the amount of time it's going to take to rework your problem is the same amount of time that it would take to rebuild it just from scratch. Maybe just rebuilding it from scratch to get a fresh breath of air is the right course of action. But that's an assessment that you have to make. Yeah, and you learn that. You just learn that over time. I feel like I want to... This is where I need to have 100% again. Thank you. There we go. Now that bracer is matching this one over here much better. There. That feels much better. Like that. And now there we go. It's a little small, so I need to increase the size a smidge. Snidge. There. Okay, good. Works down. And now this is inaccurate. So what do you do to fix that? That feels pretty good. Yeah, we're doing okay. We're doing okay over here. This is looking good. Press that all together. This should curve down here and actually disappear into that point. I might have it end up work on this bracer down here a little bit more, mess around with the anatomy of that arm. I think it's gonna work. That should be fine. So let's see if we can just let that float. All right, so let's get back into that arm feels better now. If we transform. Much, much better. And the bicep. Still a little foreshortened, but I am okay with that. I think it's better. Definitely better. Okay, cool. So let's see. Let's get back into, since we can be content with this, we can merge those together. And I just want to say thank you to the folks that have been hanging out and taking an interest in this channel, and the new subscribers, and folks spending time watching and exploring what it is that we're doing here. And especially for new folks that are joining the Discord community, that asking questions and getting interested in the work that we're doing. I am thankful that you have invested time and interest in the work that we're doing. So cheers to you. We'll be back on tonight to do more Spelljammer, Eberron, Asteroid Belt, Mecha, Kaiju, Bastion campaign that we're going to run on my Discord server. The plan is to run that campaign from level 5 to 14 from February to October 2026. And I think at some point we're probably going to find that the content that we're testing in that campaign I'm already confident it's good to go. I'm just running this campaign as a means of combining all these ideas together. I have an implant. If you see some of my earlier videos from like 2 years ago, you'll see I don't have any front teeth during those videos. It's hysterical. And I must have bit a chicken bone or something weird, but it's now, it has like this little bit of a wiggle in it, and I think that these front 4 teeth are all just an implant. So, but they're permanent. So they drilled bolts into my jawbone, into my gums, and then they built this plate that they basically lock. You push it in, and you lock it onto the pegs, and it becomes permanent. And you still have to like stick a floss up underneath there. Lock that sits in my mouth that curves up into the palate and the roof of my mouth. It's like if this is, hold on. So like if this is my mouth and these are gums and this is where my teeth are at, when you have an implant put in, that gets erased. You build a screw that goes into the bone of your mouth. So this is all the gums in here, and this screw bolts into your gums, and then they make a fake teeth. This is not to ratio. This is not to scale, but they create this shape here that fills in, so it like merges into the roof of your mouth where your gum is at, and like here's the roof of your mouth, and then here's that vein that gets frozen when you drink ice cream. You eat too much ice cream too quickly, it's too cold. But it builds this block and it becomes permanent. And it's basically latched onto this peg that's sitting in your gums, and somehow mine is, it's wiggling now. So it's not coming off of the pegs, but it's wiggling a little bit, and it's obnoxious. It doesn't interrupt my ability to bite through apples or anything like that. It just kind of like drops down a little bit. And it's like millimeters, but it's enough to rattle around in my head and for me to notice it. So I'm probably gonna have to get it replaced. And hopefully, I don't think they can take it off. So I think what they're gonna have to do is they're gonna have to break it and then pull off the pieces and then clip on the new one. And so they can't like take a look underneath the hood, as it were, to see what's actually going on without breaking it. So, and if they break it, then I'm going to be missing my first front teeth for a while. So I think what will probably end up having to happen is order a new replacement grill, and then have them break the current one, check it out, and if everything's okay, drop the new one in and be good to go. But if it turns out there's something wrong with the pegs somehow, they may need to leave me with teeth gapped for a little bit, which I am willing to accept for the long-term cause. It was a crazy experience having these new teeth dropped in, but I think I'll save that. I think it was a crazy experience, but I don't know if it's a good story. So if I can pull out enough highlights into a reel of best moments of not having teeth for a while, I will share them with you guys for your own educational purposes. So far, so good. Let's just keep working this. Basically, I'm breaking up the form, right? We have our silhouette, and now I'm going in and I'm creating just all these little shapes to help break up these large blocks of color and add points of interest and detail without having to murder myself on creating detail. Words, Kearney. Sometimes they elude me. Yeah, so we'll be back on. It's what is it? 7:30 now. So 11 hours we'll be back online, working on the Spelljammer Eberron Kaiju Mecha campaign, where we've been building out the communities that the team is that the characters are protecting. There's 6 asteroid communities in the cluster that they're basically the sheriffs for. And then as kaiju emerge from the void, the characters use their mecha, like Gundam, fighting more like Evangelion in space, I guess is probably a better way of expressing that. If you know Neon Genesis Evangelion, that should be exciting, because that's what excited me about building the campaign in the first place. So we're building out all the anatomy of locations and using the tools that we've been creating here online to create structure for the campaign's progression, and it's going to go from level 5 to 14. I will not stream it. I don't stream my playtest content, but anyone that is interested in participating can throw their hat in the ring on my Discord server, which is linked down below. The plan is to run the campaign from February to October. It'll either be Monday nights or Saturday mornings. I honestly don't know which. I think I'm more interested in Monday night, actually, more so than anything else. So I might be angling in that direction. Like that, I'm on the West Coast. I'm in Seattle. So I'm 3 hours behind like East Coast. So that's gonna really, like if I were to have a campaign Monday night that ran like from 6 to 10, right? Then that would be in New York, for example, that would be 9 till 1 a.m. on a Monday night. Like that's difficult to pull off. I could start as early as 5 p.m., which would be 8 till midnight in New York. That's probably more realistic. I mean, that just that one little hour probably makes a big difference. Or I could limit it to 3 hours and go like from 5:30 till 9:30 Seattle time, which would be 8 till 11:30. Or 8:30 till 11:30 in New York. That might actually be pretty good. So I have those 3 days: Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturday mornings. Monday night, Thursday night, and Saturday morning. Thursday night, I don't want to run a game on Thursday night. Sometimes I participate in a Shadow Dart campaign or Super Atomic with AJ Pickett and Wally DM and Fred Willard with ttrpg and like Dungeon Minister and all sorts of different, like other folks. I'm sort of a cameo, just like a whole bunch of other people. There's like a roster of us, and those happen on Thursday nights. It's been a couple months since we've had one, but I don't want to shut off that opportunity to play other games. I like that belt. We're going to put a Mabar symbol inside there, which will be similar to what we have here. So it'll be the full symbol here and then only part of the symbol that we can see because he's kind of squinting at us. I think that'll work out. I like how this is coming along. I like this metal rendering. I like rendering metal. I like the glossy, like the chrome. It's super fun to do. So I was doing some work on this last night off screen, just because I was frustrated with where it was at. I was like, this doesn't look good. I need to figure out what's wrong and what I can do. And I was like, the problem is that it needs more chrome. Grab that bit there, drop that in here. This piece is getting really, really close to being done. I mean, the whole project, like actually publishing it and moving on to something else. I am very much excited about that idea. Let's keep pushing this curve here for the foreshortening effect of moving around his body. I'm leaning in too much, so that means that I need to zoom in on the illustration so I can relax my body a little bit and let it do the work. Here, let's push this down like that. This is one of the favorite songs that I have on Epidemic. It's called "Leaf in the Wind," and you'll hear it on other YouTube channels occasionally. It's one of those really calm background songs. It's like 3 minutes long. But you'll hear it on other YouTubes. It's funny when you hear like when you recognize the stock music that other producers are using. Okay, that's good enough. I like how this is coming along. Let me see. How do I want to proceed here? Let's. I guess we're going to work on the legs next. So let's drop down here and start working on the hips and the legs. I could build out some armor plating. Actually, let's glossy this up a smidge before moving on. This, okay. This should actually be a little bit more like this. Which means I need to cut this off, paste that down, and then I need to take this leg and cut the whole thing off. Just like we had to do with the arm, the leg is now off of its proportions, or its perspective is off. So I have to cut off the leg. We'll put the arm on top. I'll put the leg and stuff down here. We need to push that leg in a little bit. Yeah, that feels better. That feels better already. So let's take this back up here to the top. Pop, 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 pop. Let's merge down. And now we can work on the anatomy of that leg. No, let's do this. Because I'm on the wrong layer. I was like, why is this doing what it's doing? It's like, because you're a fool. Merge. There we go. Fool Patook. Now we're starting to work. That's doing better now. Hey, what's up? Hey, Defecta, it's good to see you, my guy. Let's muscle up those legs a little bit more. Where am I at? Oh, that's right, because you are still the thing. Here, see, I'm adding chrome and glossiness to the armor to help create more contrast. So far, so good. So what? You know, I think I need to do some stuff down in here, probably like some like bands and bit like down here to help break up that form a little bit. But would have been here sooner, but had to play some early morning guitar. Hey, right on, good on you. Dude, you don't owe me anything. No one owes me shit. So I appreciate you wanting to be here, and thank you for that. It's very kind. No one owes me nothing. I saw a little bit up here I could mess around with for a second, so I wanted to come up here and mess around with it for a second. Get a little hint of some musculature up in here. just so the bicep isn't just a cylinder of meat going up into a plate. There we go. Yeah, this isn't going to be my best work, but it's going to be good enough. There we go. That'll do. Perfect. All right. Hey, what's up? It is. It's definitely coming along. Yeah, it's just too much. There's too much attention to them for them to be as bland as they are. And I actually feel like it's a little bit longer now than what this is. Like, this is a little bit of foreshortening going on. This feels a little bit too long. So I'll probably end up coming back in here and reducing this, reducing the length of that just a smidge. But I'm obviously avoiding the legs. So let's merge the leg back into the body. Merge down. There. And I need to be using the guitar pick smudge brush because it's a smoother smudge. There it is. We're finding our angle. Bulk that out just a smidge. Drop that in. I'll also have to change the angle of this now. Cut, paste. Free transform. Perspective. Like, I need to tilt it like that, just a smidge. Yeah, that feels better. Merge down. So this has a sort of like cloth-like feel. Like the curve of the leg here would create like a pocket of dark here that would eventually, here like that, and then this would naturally come down here, and then all of this would be sort of facing the light. So I'm figuring that part out. So let's just keep working the leg anatomy, and I think the rest of this will probably find its way to a solution by itself. I think part of that is, working this side over here. What's up? Is it cloth or leather? It certainly seems to be bending like leather or like cloth right now. I was kind of thinking cloth, like a cloth backing with plate over it. I don't necessarily know yet. We're just kind of making this thing up. I'm pretty sure, like in this piece, it's obviously a thicker leather. The way that it hangs off of it, like it has that stiffness to it. This is molded leather here, like boiled leather. We're making it feel a little bit more like a clothiness to it, and I don't know if that's the right solution or not. So I suspect we'll end up making it firm. Okay, I am not happy with where this is at right now. Let's cut this leg free. Cut, paste. Push that forward. Oops. We're doing some hard smudge. Delicate sculpting here. Get that fleshed out proper like. Yeah. I feel like this needs to be more like here. And then I want to, I want to boil it so it's going to be more firm. Take this leg here and blend that into. What's up? Is the canvas right leg also foreshortened? This right leg here. Yeah, the foot's off. We're gonna have to pull this forward here like that to make that blend in proper. So I think we're gonna have to cut off this guy's leg too. Don't worry, buddy, we'll sew it back on. Bit of a tilt. A bit of a tilt and a lift. I bet that's where we need to be with that. Yeah, that actually feels a little bit better. Let's take this one here. That's actually feeling pretty good. Oops, forgot about that guy. Hey, forgot about Dre. It's like I want to cut these legs free from the cloth. How obnoxious. This is my fault for not having strong enough line art before I began color. So this is 100% my own fault. Let's go with, arm is top and then legs are lower. Go back up to the body here and let's snip that. Cool.
It's amazing how just a few pixels makes a difference.
Yeah, it really does. It really is. If something is off, just a smidge, we were talking about that earlier. How like if you have one point of reference that's flawed, the whole thing just sort of spirals out into inaccuracy. Like it becomes more and more like, and like we'll see more inaccuracies when we start putting. Like if we start doing like line details of like corrugated plates and shit like that, it'll further expand the flaw, any flaws of anatomy, like lines, verticals, stripes, dotted patterns, any kind of patterning will immediately start to show where the flaws in your anatomy are at. It's actually really funny. Yeah, let's push this up in here like that. This is not going to be one of my best pieces, but that's okay. They can't all be bangers, right? And then here. That's where we want to be for this one. Thicken up that leg a little bit and curve it in. I bet I'm about to run out of time. It's 7:49. My alarm's going to go off like in 2 seconds. Very nice. So let's get to a point where the muse will let me stop moving, and we'll pick this up. I'll actually probably work on this a little bit tonight. we've been bouncing between doing maps and artwork off screen. So the maps where we've got these entire page like right here. So here's our full page, the 16 by 9 digital format. This is one column, this is one column, and this is one column. And most of the large region maps that we're doing are like, they take up like this much space, which leaves like this thin strip down here, like this, to be able to have like icons and like little map components. Like this is a puddle. It does, like here's a puddle. It's like we can extract pieces from the map. You can't see it here because obviously you have to imagine it, but you'll see it. So what I'm doing right now is like if there's a, you know, we have our grid map here of our region, and we'll take this over here and we'll drop it here, and this will be like, this is a squiggly forest, or whatever that's going to be. Like that's currently what I'm working on off screen, is and defining like what each one of those little icons on the map means, that sort of stuff. But yeah, this guy is feeling a lot better. I am very, very happy with how this is coming along. Hold on. Oh shit! I forgot to move the leggings on these things. Well, I bet they suck anyway and had to get changed, but there. That works fine. And then here, this just got nudged around a little bit, so yeah, it's doing fine. Okay, cool. No major losses there. I'm gonna probably break this up too. Like we'll need to have like some bands down here that break this up. Obviously the feet still need work. I specifically pushed that off. Yeah, we'll add some banding there. Probably put in some plates up here to break up the shape of that. We'll put some banding down in here to help. You won't see them here, so we'll be able to put like little greave, like little straps. We'll be able to put bonds down there. We'll probably do something with this shape here to help reinforce that as boiled leather. Like probably expand this out here more like that, maybe. Possibly put some plates down here into the ribs, and then we'll render more detail on the head, work the whip, add barbs to the whips, so that it becomes more of a bladed whip sort of idea. And then I bet the piece is going to be good enough. We'll drop in some texture background stuff, but this format that we have here now, here's a square. And you can see it fits inside the square pretty nicely now. So as a token, I can have this whole piece sitting as a token, even though I don't necessarily need all this blind space out here for the whip. It's giving it more volume, which is increasing its importance on the page, which I want for the Ultroloth, because it is the highest threat creature in the game. I don't even expect you to act like the DM. The DM needs to judge for themselves. Can our team survive a CR 13 threat? 200 hit points at the end of the adventure. And so it's not expected for this thing to actually manifest. But this is the goal of the artifact that is being used to create the manifest zone. It wants to create an Ultraloth to lead a demonic army onto the plane of Eberron. So I wanted to include one there in case the DM decided it would be fun to add that in. So, but yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. I'm liking the line work here with the whip. It's almost it's almost a tangent, and a tangent is like when you have like the design, like the composition of your image. Like hold on, it'd be easier if I had, like, for example, if the whip, the curve of that whip was like right here, and that like it basically extended the line in through here, like that would feel really unnatural. Like what's the coincidence, what's the likelihood of these lines lining up? Like next to none. So you can have them come along closely, and it ends up creating an angle of momentum with the lines aligning. Too much lines in that sentence. The lines aligning to create this motion of energy. So I like how this whip is curving through that space there. Yeah, that feels pretty good. All right, I gotta go.
Hey, what's up? When lines meet, another line extends. Yeah.
Unnaturally creates it's a flaw. It's an artistic flaw in composition because you aren't creating enough diversity and angles to be able to make. Sometimes you want to manipulate that on purpose, but you always want to be mindful of your tangenting. So that's it for now, guys. I'm going to go ahead and kick out of here. I'm going to be back in 10 and a half hours. We'll be back on to work on more Eberron design. We're going to finish. Capital Rock is the town that is the capital of the cluster of asteroid communities that we're building in orbit around Eberron. And so we built out the basic statistics of the community as a whole, but now we have to build like the actual administrative building, like the keep that is where the leadership of that town is at, and then there's going to be some unique special structures and buildings and stuff that we want to flesh out as well using the Bastion mechanics that we've been developing. So we'll be back tomorrow morning to continue working on this. I might work on it some tonight, but I think I'm going to be most of my night's going to be taken up with the Spelljammer work. We'll see if we can finish early so I can jump offline and get some work done with this so we can keep pushing this forward, because currently it's not going to be finished by tomorrow. It'll probably be done by Tuesday next week, which means I'm behind schedule as usual. That's okay. We're getting close. I suspect this is going to be published in the first week or so of January. I think we'll be able to get this done and published at that point. So we're getting there. We're really getting close. All right, that's it. I'm out of here. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.